Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
We are supposed to conduct the presentations today. I hope you people are prepared, those who are supposed to be giving the presentations.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, who wants to do it first?
Ma'am, I'll go first.
You'll do. So I'll make
Yes,
you the host, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Krupa, you're the host now.
Yes, ma'am. I'll just screen share. Is my screen visible?
Your
Your
screen is visible. I will stop my video. You can start yours if you want.
No, ma'am. I'm fine.
Okay.
I'll keep my audio on but video off.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I'll start.
Yes, you can start.
So, good morning, everybody. So, we all have some basic knowledge about Mozilla Firefox browser. Today, we will take one step ahead to know more about it. So, first of all, what is Firefox? Mozilla Firefox is a browsing platform, as we all know about it. It was first announced on September 23rd, 2002. But the initial practice that came was on 9th November 2004. It was named Phoenix at the first time. But then later, it started, it came into working in 2004, though it was announced in 2002. There is a small history behind it that is
Yeah, continue, Krupa. What's the problem?
Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes,
or my voice is lacking?
No, you are audible. What about others? Everybody is able to hear Krupa?
Yes, ma'am. Perfectly fine.
Yeah,
Yes,
you can go ahead, Krupa.
Yes, ma'am. So there is a small history behind it. When they started with this project of Mozilla Firefox, they had no intention to create a browser. They just were working on a rough project. The thing is, there were three developers who started this project, namely Dave Hyatt, Blake Ross, and his co-followers, who just started this as an experimental project. But when they started getting proper outputs, they actually decided to make it a working browser. And then the Mozilla organization held it and developed it officially. It implements all standards based web technology such as HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. It is an open source. Now, we all know what is an open source, that anybody and anyone can access it throughout the world. These are the logo revolutions. When it came in first 2002, it was first named as Phoenix. Then in 2004, when they actually started initializing it and started working on it, implementing, the user started using it, the logo started with a actual fox hugging the earth. Its tail implements a it shows a small emoji of a fire. That's why it came up with Firefox. First, it was started with a turkey bird. Then features of Firefox. First, it is the fastest, one of the fastest browser. Second, safest. When I was preparing this PPT, I was searching for information related to it. When I searched for Firefox, the first thing that popped up was it is the fastest and the safest browser. It is smartest. Smartest in the sense, you all might think like, what is something weird that is smartest and all that, but Firefox has such shortcut keys which makes it so easy to use by any user. It's an organic software. What does this mean? A community of developers improving the standards and evolving Firefox daily. Like those who use Firefox might be knowing this very well. We get an monthly update on the versions of Firefox. This is what the community of developers is working. That's why it is called as organic software. Bookmarking made really simple. Now, what does this point mean? That whenever we go through certain web pages or any certain things that we read on this browser, and if we want to pin it down so that next time when we want to use it, we can easily use this bookmarking thing, which is provided by Firefox and makes it more reliable and easy to use. So as I mentioned in the third point here, it's smartest. Those who use Firefox can take a quick screenshot about this. These are few of the Firefox shortcuts which makes it more reliable and easy to use. For a new tab to open, we have Ctrl+T. If we need to write in the address bar, we can use Ctrl+L. For quick Google search, it is Ctrl+K. To keep on scrolling, it is spacebar. To zoom in and zoom out, it is Control plus sign or the minus sign. For normal thing, it is normal size, it is Control+O. These are a few more shortcuts. To take back, it's so these are the few others. You can just take screenshot. That is for back, forward, home, and history. As Firefox has the most secured history, and it will ensure that it gives you all full protection and helps you all in your what they say. It won't leak your history to anybody else. Whereas Chrome and all, as Chrome is directly attached to Google, so then it can breach your data. But Firefox will keep it safe. So here's a small meme that I would like to share. It is a conversation between browsers, whereas Chrome, Microsoft, Internet Explorer, and Opera, they are having a small conversation saying, what are we? Everyone says browser, and the first one to say is the Firefox. Rest all also answer instead of the Internet Explorer. Then it goes on that what do we want? Everyone answers. When do we want? Everyone answers, but other than Internet Explorer. It at last answers that it wants browser, which loads very slow. It shows. This is the main reason why we don't have Internet Explorer, and it just collapsed a few, like not collapsed exactly, but shut down few months ago. So this was a small meme saying goodbye Internet Explorer. Thank you. Is there anything else you all want to know about it? About in Firefox browser?
No.
If anybody has any questions to ask, go ahead.
No, ma'am.
Ma'am, am I done?
Yeah.
Yes.
Who
Thank
wants
you.
to give the presentation next?
Ma'am, Rohan.
Rishikesh? Rohan?
Ma'am,
Yeah,
Rohan.
ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, ma'am.
Who, Rishikesh or Rohan?
Ma'am, Rohan.
Okay. Rohan, raise your hand.
Wait a minute, ma'am.
Yeah, you are the host now.
Okay, ma'am. Screen is visible, ma'am.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, so today my topic is Chrome web browser. So everybody knows like what Chrome is. It's a web browser. Wait a minute. So today I will be discussing about its introduction and history of Chrome and its features and how does it work. Okay. So introduction and history. Google Chrome is a cross-platform web browser. Everybody knows that. Google Chrome comes in tablet, smartphones, and laptops. It was first released in 2008. Chrome supports all the operating systems from ranging from Mac OS to Linux OS. And for Android and Chrome OS, Chrome is a default browser. It was first released in 2008, but the development began in 2006, headed by Sundar Pichai, and who is the current CEO of Alphabet. And Chrome uses Blink as its rendering engine. During its initial day, Chrome used WebKit as its rendering engine. Further, we will know what rendering engine is exactly. So, and its feature, Chrome is not just a browser; it's a very advanced browser. Like it is very intelligent, we can say. It has lot of advanced features which makes it very unique compared to other browsers. So Chrome can be used as image viewer, video viewer, and has a PDF viewer also. We can use task manager for websites to view which tab is using how much memory resources of the system. We can use that by pressing a shortcut key, that is Shift Escape. And we can use Chrome as a calculator also. All the like mathematical formulas can be just, you can type on search bar and you can see the answers in the search result, like down the search bar. And we can also save web pages as PDF files, which allows us to download and view the content offline, and we can prepare notes of that content. So it will help in that also. And developer tools are also very advanced, which help us to make a browser itself as an editor, and we can view the changes online, like on the web pages. And so how does it work actually? So there are number of processes which makes it run. There are browser process, rendering process, plugin process, and GPU process. The main you can see in the diagram. So like how the rendering process is a software which pulls the text and images on the screen. The engine renders structured text from a document, often HTML, and formats it properly on the given style declaration, which is often given in CSS. So this way, the whole web page is displayed on your screen. Thank you, ma'am. Any questions? Ma'am?
No,
No,
no
no.
question.
Is that all, Rohan?
Yeah, ma'am.
Who wants to give the presentation next?
Ma'am, I'll give.
Aditi?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you are the host now.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, yes.
Good morning, everyone. So today I'll be explaining about Microsoft Edge in brief. So let's start with the introduction. Microsoft Edge is a cross-platform web browser developed by Microsoft in 2015. The browser was not released for all operating systems at once. For Windows and Xbox One, it was released in 2015, then for Android and iOS in 2017, for Mac OS in 2019, and as a preview for Linux in October 2020. So Edge was initially built with Microsoft's own proprietary browser engine, Edge HTML, and their Chakra JavaScript engine, a version now referred to as Microsoft Edge Legacy. In 2019, Microsoft browser was rebuilt as Chromium-based with Blink and V8 engines. So most of us might be not knowing what is Chromium, Blink, and V8 engine. So Chromium is an open source code base for a web browser developed and maintained by Google. And Blink is a browser engine developed as part of Chromium project with contributions from Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Opera, and many others. And lastly, V8 is an open source JavaScript engine developed by the Chromium project for
Google Chrome, and Chromium web browsers. Edge connects with Microsoft's online platform with the help of Cortana, which is Microsoft's virtual assistant. Cortana provides voice control and search functionality and personalized information. Edge also has a reading mode which makes reading websites easier. So we'll talk about the history now. Microsoft Edge is the company's third attempt at building a better browser. The first try was the Internet Explorer, which was initially released in 1995. That was world's most popular browser, peaking at 95% market share in 2003. But due to some issues and even company did not improve the browser, Internet Explorer became old, buggy, and insecure, allowing nimbler browsers like Firefox and Google Chrome to gain in popularity. The second try was Edge, which was released in 2015, was an attempt by Microsoft to replace Internet Explorer and regain browser leadership. But it failed. It failed because that version of Edge was available only for Windows 10 and was sluggish and overstuffed with features which actually people did want. That was browser extensions. So in the third attempt, the company overcame the issues and added extensions which can be now customized to the Microsoft Edge add-ons store or the Chrome web store to personalize your experience. You have safe browsing mode for kids where only the age-appropriate contents will be displayed. Also, you can access PDF files easily as the free PDF tools come built in, so you can view, edit, and share directly from the browser. Also, the read aloud option is available. Next is always connected. So by signing in with your Microsoft account, Sync ensures your passwords, favorites, and settings roam wherever you are. Your roaming wherever you are refers to as many other devices. You can also stay private online. That in private mode, which is built in, that helps your browser history and searches to be to control. It controls your data so that you can browse in private mode. Next is you can browse safer. That Microsoft Defender Smart Screen protects you from phishing and malware websites and from downloading malicious files. Next, block online tracking. Even this gives you more control over your data and more transparency into which trackers are being blocked while you browse the web. Also, you can customize with color themes. You can customize your browser by trying color themes available directly with the Edge. Search is made simple. You can find whatever you need with improved history search. Also, while online shopping, Microsoft Edge has built-in tools that make it easier to get the best deal so that you can save money while shopping. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, who wants to give
Do
next?
you have any questions?
If there are any questions, ask.
No, Aditi.
No.
Who wants to be the presenter next?
Ma'am, I can.
Okay. Yeah, you're the host now, Rishikesh.
Am I audible and is the screen visible?
Yes.
Yes, your screen is
Yes.
Ma'am, is it blinking? Like it is going black? Is it
No, it's stable.
okay? So I will be demonstrating about the Opera GX browser. This is the newly released browser, and I also know that a lot of you don't know about it. So I will be directly demonstrating it right here. Since it is a brand new browser, it does not have a lot of history behind it, but its features are something that you all should know and notice. So I'll be taking you over this browser. Okay, so this is the interface of the Opera GX browser, and it performs all the similar features just like any other browser, but there are some very special features that this browser provides. So I'll be taking you over those features. As you can see, this is the main browser screen. I mean the website where you can download the browser. And as you all know, you have heard of the name Opera. Opera has been a company that provides a browsing service for over more than 25 years now. But compared to the other browsers in the market like Google Chrome and Mozilla Firefox, they could not have a lot of success in their this thing. So what they decided to come up with is this browser, Opera GX. And currently this browser is being used widely by a lot of technicians and a lot of gamers as well. This is especially known as a gaming browser. And the reason why I will shortly explain now. And currently it is in the early access, but you can still download it on your computer as well as the mobile phone. So why is it known as early access is because some of the features, as you can see here, Force Dark Pages is in beta. So every week and every month they come up with new features for this browser and to make it better. So it is not in the complete version of it yet, but in a few more months it will be completely finished. But as it is now, it is the best browser that I'm using, I can say. So let's see what's different about it compared to all the other browsers. So yeah, so this is the first tab. Like whenever you open, I can say that this browser is very suitable for people who are very concerned about the technical aspects of the system, such as the RAM and CPU usage, etc. Then people who play a lot of games and who like to watch streams, etc. For them also, it is the best kind of browser. Also, you can customize it very well. It looks very cool from that point of view. And then here you have the GX corner, which they provide, especially meant for gamers who can know when the new games are released, how many free games are available, and etc. etc. Like new upcoming and interesting games, everything. And this is the release calendar. Here you get to know when a game is going to launch, so you can keep track of that thing. Next, we have the new tab. Here you can quickly jump to any of these tabs. And one of the most peculiar features of this browser is, of course, it is made to look very cool, but it also has the browser sounds. I don't know if you're able to hear it. As I hover my keys over these tabs, can you hear the sound, ma'am?
Yes, we can hear.
I'm unable
Yeah,
to.
so yeah, there is a slight noise, like a sound. And also when you're typing, you can hear some typing sounds. So they have made a lot of customizations to this. So let's see, get into the feature part of it. So as you can see, this is the sidebar given. Here the first one is the GX control. This is where you can limit how much RAM or how much CPU your particular tabs are using. For example, if I open like, okay, wait a minute. Okay. So if I open a new tab in my GX control, you can see how much RAM my tab is using. So YouTube is using currently 105 MB RAM, and opera.com is using 42 MB RAM. And similarly, if if you're using any particular video, or if you're running any video on YouTube, then you can also see how much CPU it is using. And then this is about the hot tabs killer. Next, you can limit your network. For example, if you're using a hotspot and you don't want your browser to absorb a lot of your bandwidth, and what you can do is you can limit everything from here, like the upload speed and the download speed, etc. See, there is a sound effect for everything, as you can see here. So that's what makes it a lot cool, I can say. And then there are some specific tools here to limit the RAM and CPU usage. This is very useful for low-end CPUs because browsers like Google Chrome, usually when you're using a lot of tabs on it, it takes up a lot of RAM memory. So, and it also results in poor performance. So therefore, you can use the RAM limiter and you can limit how much RAM your particular system is going to use. I mean, the browser will only use that much amount of RAM. So this is about the GX control. Next, you also have the GX cleaner here, which will take care of all the cache, cookies, browsing history, and it will clean everything right from here. You can set it to minimum, maximum, etc. as per your need. The next we have the platforms here. Twitch is a platform where you can watch streamers. Then WhatsApp, you can also link your WhatsApp here right in the browser, and you can access your WhatsApp right through the browser itself. And similarly, there are many options, as you can see here. The Facebook Messenger, Telegram, Instagram, there are many platforms that you can access. Next, there is a player where you can link your Spotify, YouTube Music, and you can listen to some music at the same time while browsing. Then you have the history tab, where you can directly go to your history and go to any page you would like to. Then, just like any other browser, there is the extension bar, where you can add more extensions to make your browser much more better. Like, for example, if you need we already have this widget here, the weather widget, but if you would like to have another weather widget, you can add it somewhere like here, then it will show the weather here. So this is about it. And if like for beginners who don't know a lot about this browser, you can just visit this website here. And as you can see, everything is properly explained in these tabs. So you can go through everything here, and then if you want to change how your browser looks, there are themes, and then there are animations, browser sounds if you want to disable it. There is background music as well, which you can use from here. So yeah, this is it about Opera GX, and yeah, thank you. Yes, ma'am, done.
Okay. Your turn is over. You are done with your presentation.
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody else is remaining now?
Ma'am, I am remaining. Divya Kulkarni.
Yeah, I'll make you the host. Raise your hand, Divya. Divya, you're able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Just a minute.
Yeah. Okay, I found you.
Okay.
Yes, be quick, Divya. We have about 10
Yes,
minutes.
ma'am. Ma'am, is the PPT visible?
No? Yes, it's visible now. You can start.
Okay. So good morning, everyone. Today I'll be presenting the web browser Brave to you. Yeah. So let's begin with what a web browser is. So we all know what it is. So in a nutshell, it is an application software for accessing the World Wide Web. That is, when a user requests a web page from a particular website, the web browser retrieves the necessary content from a web browser and then displays the page on the user's device. Now coming to the Brave software, it's of course a recent release. It is developed by Brave Software Incorporated, which is founded by its CEO, Brendan H., and the Chief Technological Officer, that is Brian Mondi, on 28th of May 2015. So Brendan H. is also the creator of JavaScript and the former CEO of Mozilla Corporation. So Brave is a free and open source software. So what does it mean? Free in the sense anyone is freely licensed to use, copy, study, and change the software in any way. Open source refers to this that the source code is openly shared so that people are encouraged to voluntarily improve the design of the software. You can contribute towards the development of that website or the web browser. So it is also based on the Chromium web browser. I think Aditya has already explained what the Chromium web browser is, but I'd still like to highlight that point. It is an open source code base for a web browser developed by and maintained by Google. So it's like a basic template that a web browser will use, and you can add your own features to your browser. So the first stable release was on 13th November 2019. Now coming to the timeline of it, the it there was a lot of time gap, right, between the original when they announced it and to the first stable release. So what happened in between? So on 20th Jan 2016, they launched the first version with an ad blocking feature. And also they announced plans for a privacy respecting ad feature and a revenue sharing program. Now, between this 20th Jan 2016 to June 2019, a lot of changes took place. A lot of testing was done. So, a few of them in sequence are pay to serve. Now, pay to serve is a popular business model. That is, here the browsing activity of the users was tracked, and advertising revenue would be used to financially compensate the users for their time spent on browsing the web. But this model declined very soon. But still, there are some web browsers, and Brave is one of them. It uses a newer version of it that is pay you for your attention. So this browser pays you in exchange for the surfing interruption. That is, if you watch any ad or anything like that, you are getting paid. Next is Tor support. So Tor support is only for the desktop browsers, private surfing mode or private browsing mode. So what is Tor in brief? Tor is again a free and open source software, and it enables anonymous communication. That is, it protects the personal privacy of its users as well as their freedom and ability to conduct confidential communication by keeping their internet activities unmonitored. That is, you won't be easily tracked if you are under a network surveillance or anything like that. It is very difficult for someone to track you, but it is not impossible. Third one, it shifted from Electron to Chromium. Now, what is Electron? Brave basically first ran on Electron, an open source software framework which is developed and maintained by GitHub, and it allows for development of desktop GUI apps using web technologies. Now, just to ease their maintenance burden, um, Brave shifted to Chromium. Sorry, it's written Chrome over there. So what happened here is since Chrome is maintained and developed by Google, it's easier. The burden on Brave is reduced. Now, next coming to main is June 2019. That is, they came up with a new ad blocking and rule matching algorithm. Which were these? These were uBlock and Ghostery algorithms. So what happened when you combine these two and whatever logic they came up with, the algorithms ran 69 times faster than the previous algorithm. This algorithm was written in Rust, whereas the previous ones were written in C++. And in 2019, we came up with the first stable release. Now, what is its pitch? So basically, their pitch is ad stripping strategy. That is, it blocks ads and trackers. So automatically, the speed is increased and your privacy is strengthened. That is, it loads pages 3 to 6 times faster than Chrome and Firefox. Also, we have Tor support. Now, Tor is great for privacy and anonymity in its own network. That is, the websites which support Tor, only for that it is good. But when you come on the ClearNet, that is publicly accessible sites, your safety is not 100%. Next one,
Sorry to
switching is
interrupt
easy.
you, Divya.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll do one thing. I'll stop the meeting and start once again so that you can do it little slowly. You need another 2-3 minutes?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It will be done in that much time.
Yeah, so I'll do one thing. I'll end the meeting now and start it once again. All of you join.
Yes, ma'am.